Hello there! It's update day once again in the world of Fortnite, and this week will go down in history as a special one. I'm ADAMARU, and these are all the map updates and secret story beats in Fortnite Chapter 3, Season 3, Week 3. Let's go! Have you visited Logjam recently? Last week, the roots of the reality tree emerged from the ground in the water, and then a sapling sprouted up. This week, that sapling is a full-size tree, and the POI is now Logjam Lotus. Here's the most spectacular thing about this place. It changes before each match you play. The first time I came here, it was a gladiatorial city like those in Greece and Rome. From the statues to this new style of stone there is, it looks amazing. The Logjam sign still sits here in the centre with this strange glow of reality. Oh, and there's a bathhouse. Someone should tell Nick A30 to get 100 people here. The next time I visited Logjam, it was a pirate's bay, just like the Chapter 2 POI. Yet at this point, they are still building the galleon which once sat here on the water. All the details you'd expect are here, from gold and other plunder to a portcullis. The pirate flag is hoisted high above too. So the third time I visited Logjam, it was a Wild West scene. A saloon was here, a sheriff's office, and a bank is being erected. And the sawmill is now a mine. But the thing which I am desperately hoping is foreshadowing is this: a train track. We shouldn't get our hopes up, but if you've played something like Apex Legends, you'll know how interesting a constantly moving train is around the island. And you know, if Epic Games made a train, it would be the greatest and weirdest thing you've ever seen. Please, Epic, don't make me beg. So 3 POIs in 1. This is top draw game design. Is there a fourth version which I missed? Please let me know. This isn't a one-off change either. In game right now, down by the butter barn, the next sapling has sprouted. In 7 days, this place could be another rotating reality for us to explore. At this point, I'm undecided if the reality tree is a good thing for us or the beginnings of our next enemy. What do you say? I know a few people will be a little upset that Logjam is gone forever, but it turns out it's actually still here. New and improved, in fact. The building being constructed to the north of this is Logjam, ready to ship wood to any place that needs construction on the island. This location is the perfect place to find the new item. The Ripsaw launcher hangs from the walls here. We can fire saw blades at each other. Health and safety will never know. I'm working on a Myth Chaser episode about this item, so please let me know if you have any outrageous myths you want us to bust. Another update from midweek was a secret cave by the reality tree. It suddenly opened. As a collective community, we did that. We opened that. Inside were 3 NPCs from Fortnite's history. Bill and Ted the henchmen from the Ghost and Shadow units back in Chapter 2 Season 2. And a trespasser from the days of the invasion. We saw them all fall back down to the island after the Skyfire event. Remember what the trespasser did? He made a new home to the north of the island, all on his own, and he was quite sad about being alone. Well, now all 3 of those guys are together, and the bromance officially has 3 members. Now to this update, all those 3 lads have gone, straight up left their hole in the wall and gone walkabout. They can be found in many different locations. Thanks to you guys on Twitter for sharing these. They can be found on mountaintops. They could be found enjoying ice cream or tacos. They can be spotted in cars driving around. They can even be having a pool party. And someone found them in one of the Hutwatch buildings. Very nice. But for me, in my game, they were dancing at the rave cave. I'll try to get footage of all these places when I meet up with my Discord later. The theory is this Fab 3 will meet the IO Trooper currently all alone, and they will become the Fantastic Four. Not literally. The bromance will hopefully have a 4th member by the end of the season, and these chaps could go on so many adventures. So please subscribe to stay up to date with this pointless storyline. Speaking of pointless stories we can't get enough of, let's check up on the Rock family. Last week they were sunbathing and just vibing, as the season title tells us. This time they're still doing the exact same thing, but Mama Rock is throwing shade at Cypher PK. She's finished reading his playbook and has tossed it to the side in disrespect. Sharon isn't a fan and has already moved on to another book. Maybe that's what she'll do all season, read books and stack them high. Dad, on the other hand, hasn't moved a muscle. He's trained the dog to fetch more slurp juice. Can mutts be trained to do this in real life? Because I may need one. The final member of the family is continuing his sandcastle building, but it looks like his ideas have grown and the starts of a much bigger structure are in place. Kid Rock may be an architect in the making. He's changed a lot since the days he used to fall off cliff edges. The slow rebuild of Tilted Towers continues this week with a new building taking shape. The clock tower is now back to its former glory, and remember, Tilted will be the home of player-made structures and act the same way the block did. I wonder if the chosen buildings will suddenly appear overnight or build slowly like this one. The constant evolution of Tilted Towers has already begun. So as usual, I went to visit the rebuilding of another hero, Truckosaurus. And this week, take a look. Okay, there's no change, but it is now possible for a truck to spawn here, which we know is the head of this transformer. But when is the big lad coming back? It's taking forever. I'm not too great at waiting. Oh hey, remember at the event when Peely saved reality bringing a slurp trailer to the mecha? Well, in the story we are told it's the one by Sleepy Sounds, yet in game right now, it's back again. It's back in the water. I know this is because the entire continuity of the story is not watched over with great detail, but it's a shame, isn't it, that such a big moment for that character is kind of undone. Elsewhere, the rebuilding of the island is almost complete. We'll be sent to destroy the last remains of Io later this week, and the places the missiles dropped are almost fully repaired. The rebuilt road below Sanctuary are now removing the burnt out vehicles, so this should be done next update. Oh, and a tiny update you may not know about is this guy. Lord Vader is here with a couple of stormtroopers too. At the start of each game, you'll spot his dropship, choosing one of the many Star Wars themed locations to drop. It's then your job to defeat him. His blocking is top draw, so try to attack when he throws his sword, or another great time is when he uses the Force to lift an object. Your hard work will result in wielding his saber. You could even pretend to be him and trick other players, kinda like this video I made that nobody watched. Self-promotion. There is one last thing this week, an Easter egg from day one of the season which I missed. It turns out that at each of the DJ booths at the Rave Cave, there is one of these. A cyborg crustacean has taken up residency, and a few people asked me why they are half cyborg. So here's a quick recap on that weird story. Back in chapter 2, the crustaceans built their own community, and each update saw them progress through human evolution. It was really impressive to see a pirate-themed village catching sharkfish, a Viking one too. They even built the pyramids of Egypt before becoming a modern-day society. Sadly, things went a little off the rails as they made interstellar testing and finally atomic bomb testing. And long story short, they nuked themselves. The last time we saw them, the only way they could survive was through technological upgrades. They became cyborgs. It's been a few years since we last saw them, so that's why they're here, but I'm not sure why they both became DJs. Everybody wants to be famous these days. So yeah, that's a quick recap of the Wobbly Blobs. So that's week 3's update. How did I do? Did I miss anything? Here's some legends who used my code in the shop and sent me a Twitter DM. Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate you. Right, I'm going to make a Myth Chaser episode and find out what happens when someone blocks with a lightsaber against a ripsaw launcher. It's going to be epic. See you in a couple of days.